Draft for Upside Thursday night, week 2 preview show. Beaches love hard seltzer, my friend. Beaches love hard seltzer. What you got over there?
Got some Whistle Pig rye. I think what's it called? Hang on, let me look. I have the picture.
Farmhouse, good stuff.
Farmhouse rye. Yeah, I like rye bourbons. There was a couple ones that I looked at. This was the one that I decided to go with today. I like where it kind of just like tickles your tongue.
Yeah, buddy. Mark, you're drinking some more Blake's, man. What'd you do? Buy steak in the company out there or what?
Yeah. Little apple lantern.
I like it.
Yeah, they're only a few miles away, so they keep me stocked.
I think I might go out there Monday. I might go check it out. Never really been out there.
Oh, it's super nice.
Nice. Well, I'm just happy to be having.
You've never been to Blake's?
I'm not really drinking.
So you've never been to the Blake's Cider Mill?
No, sir. It's like an hour and a half from my house, bro.
And they have a whole brew pub now.
It's like 10.5 hours from my house, but I've been there. Got some cider and some donuts, and had some animals.
Nice. All right, just getting everything set up here, sharing our feed to my personal Facebook here briefly. We're ready to go. All right, man. Well, we're not going to top week 1. We're sure as hell going to try, my friends. I'm excited. I'm excited for my turn. It's my turn this week. I've declared my turn. Golf is looking okay. I don't mind it. Score is much lower than I thought. Anybody been paying attention to that?
I went and saw Kevin now as a +5. I'm glad that I forgot to put the lineups in.
I dig it. I know your boy JT there really took off, Mark. I was not a believer.
Yeah. I enjoyed it. Didn't the rest of my lineup didn't do that good, but I had JT.
Nice. Well,
yeah, we get into some of these single day slates. I've been throwing some stuff at baseball. I had some sweats the last 2 days. Finished I think fourth in the late slate last night. So I had like $300 in. I got 600 out. Was real close to if I had been in third, it would have been 1,000. And then today, up until the last minute, was in first in the late CS:GO. And if Miguel Sano, wasn't a complete trash can today, I probably would have shipped the early slate for MLB because I had a little $500 in 2 home run action.
Nice. Did you work a little Lou Landers information into that lineup? Did you?
No, I can't say that I did. I just game theoried it. I just looked at the pitchers the last 2 nights, set my exposures based on the pitchers, what I thought was going to happen, get some leverage on that, and then just set my lineups around that with no opposing guys, and just base my teams around the best possible ISOs. Sorry.
Nice. Nah, no worries. Anyways, speaking of Lou Landers, he's been doing some baseball and football collaborations with us over at www.fantasyfootballblueprint.com, our new home for our exclusive content for in-season and DFS. Not just baseball, not just football, esports too, and over-under prop picks. Been having fun with that. That's been entertaining. Yeah, man, I got a little worried on that prop bet on Mr. Simple today, dude. He tore up game 1. Game 2, they were 1 match away from losing the match. And he only had 12 kills, and I needed 15. And then they struck out like 2 more games, and I think he ended up with like 16 or 17. So I won that pick, even though was it Zen really screwed us over yesterday?
I thought Simple was at like 60-something going into map 3.
Maybe. I don't know. What they play best of 30, right?
Well, you just need the first 2 maps, but I thought he covered that real close.
He did by the end.
He did by a lot.
Yeah. So he had 28. I needed 43 from him. He had 28 in the first map, and I log in, and they are down like 15-9 in the second match, and he had 13 or 14 kills. And then I think they won like 4 or 5 in a row right after that, and caught up to him. I think they took that second match, didn't they?
I'm not sure. Like,
yeah, they must have because they played 3.
Yeah,
so
I mean,
anyways,
it
was fun.
Yeah, there are some ways. There are some really smart guys that like look at all the picks and bans, and I think could actually be pretty beneficial on something like that for you. And maybe I'll link you the little chat so you can try and integrate yourself into that society, and then possibly start shilling prize picks as hard as you have elsewhere. I mean, if you're seeing that, you probably follow Johnny Danger on Facebook in some way. You're probably his friend, and so you've probably been inundated the last week with just like we have, and I'm in like several private chats with him, and he posts them on multiple occasions into both chats all at the same time.
Bro, I like $25 free promo money from every one of you that sign up. That's happy for me. So, but I've been enjoying it because it's the only one that I know of that you can get 3 or 4 right and still, basically get your money back. So if you miss on the bet, you're still good.
Oh, look, me and Mark, we just don't have those type of disposable funds right now to get in the price. But I do hope this is your week too. I mean, like, I hope that you win something that I'm not involved in. Like, I hope I win the Wildcat, and then I hope I win the Power Sweep, but then you take like 2nd and 3rd, and I can take 4th and 5th at that point. So
hey, I'm in. That's fair. That's fair to me, man. I like it. So what's going on in this Cleveland game? I see a Chubb score. Anything else interesting? I'm not watching. I don't have 3 screens in my room.
I just turned it on, so I don't know.
3.
3. I have 6. Thank you very much.
Right? Okay, I have 2. I can't lie. I have 2. You can probably see it in my glasses.
Well, yeah. I mean, after everything's installed, I don't know what the computer is going to be. I don't know. I'm trying to debate whether it's going to be a 50-inch curved big one with a second one on the side, or am I going to do 3? Am I going to do 4? Am I going to do 6? Am I going to learn to code? Like, I don't know.
All the above. Do it all. Like it. Hey, off the beaten path, Mark. I finally watched that trailer for Mandalorian season 2.
Yeah, what'd you think?
Super excited.
Yeah.
Can't wait. I think maybe I'll have to drive out to the
wee baby Yoda to the Jedi.
Yeah, man. I think I'm gonna have to drive out to the farm and watch that with you, maybe.
Yeah, I'm here.
Might have to do it. All right, let's get into football, friends. Let's get into it. We did our recap show Tuesday. Another congrats to you two for your amazing wins in week 1. Follow along for more advice. We got the game going on right now. We're not going to touch on that. Get over to the right screen. Let us start our football conversation with what I believe is the highest spread on the board. Atlanta at Dallas, or I'm sorry, highest total score on the board. Atlanta at Dallas, 1 o'clock. Mark, what's your first impression of this game besides the possible shootout potential here?
Besides the shootout potential, man, I just see lots of Ridley, lots of JJ. I kind of see Atlanta rolling down the field in this one. I didn't think Dallas looked all that impressive. They looked a little rusty in their new offense. But, it could be a bounce back spot. It was a weird training camp. So.
Yeah, it was weird. I mean, Atlanta's defense wasn't much to look at against Seattle. So,
nope.
It could be an interesting game. Chris, what you got here, buddy?
Man, the Bengals Burrow was calling a timeout. He wasn't ready for the snap. They just lost like 30 yards. It's 4th down. So, hey, yeah, this game, I mean, this game has everything that you could want, no matter what side you're on. It just feels like a trap game. Like, this just feels like such a smash spot for everybody that's involved. Like you said, Julio, Calvin, maybe a little Russell Gage, maybe Hayden Hurst actually comes and does something this week. Maybe, all of the wide receivers on Dallas are completely viable and Zeke runs it out. Like, I think if you're in a season-long league, all of the guys in this game are people that you have to start, you have to play, absolutely. But I think you can make a case for getting away from this game in GPPs, not so much in cash game. I think, Zeke, a lot of these guys are cash game viable, but there's a lot of guys we're going to talk about that are extremely inexpensive in terms of the running back. that you can get away from the running backs in this game and go to the wide receivers. I love Michael Gallup, but I don't know. Like it feels like such an obvious play that I kind of want to get away from it. Call me crazy.
Yeah. Dallas is favored by 7.5.
Yeah, I don't think I'll game stack this game, but I think I'll grab a piece here or there to fill in. I don't even mind taking a shot on CeeDee Lamb here. Just grabbing a piece here or there to fill in other game stacks, I think is probably my first impression here. Yeah, I like Atlanta to win this game.
I mean, the challenge is like you're just dealing with such a small sample size that like Amari Cooper had 38% of the target share. You're looking at Gallup and CeeDee Lamb at 13.5 and 16.5 respectively. Like what do you do with it? Like, there's a lot of noise in that single game, data sample. So yeah, I mean, like you could take some stabs at it, but the guy that like Amari Cooper has just played so much better in Dallas than he has away from Dallas when he's played for Dallas.
Yeah, I could pick and choose any guy here to fill in some slots. So let's move along and move on to the next game, shall we? A couple of teams that disappointed in total production for me last week: the Rams and the Eagles. Another 1:00 game here. Miles Sanders is back. Chris, your thoughts first.
Yeah, well, and Miles Sanders is extremely inexpensive. I think, the Malcolm Brown situation makes him an interesting play. These are both guys that, when I was telling you, hey, there's some guys that are under 6K, both of these guys are ones that I was talking about. Actually, let me be a little bit more prepared here and just get off of this showdown and get onto the main slate, and let's talk about some stuff here. Get this.
He's looking for
around 5,700.
Sexy.
Yeah, I think both of these guys are absolutely playable. I probably wouldn't play both of them together, obviously. Now, a couple other things that I haven't really looked at. Yeah, I mean, I like both of those running backs. I like Robert Woods, and then from the Philly side of things, I don't know, man. Like, I think one of the guys that didn't have a good week last week that could go underowned as a result because of how many targets he did get was Zach Ertz. Like, I know that there's this whole issue with his contract and a couple other things that pertain to that, but like he's obviously has the synergy with Carson Wentz. It wasn't there last week. Maybe they prayed together because it's a big thing for the two of them, and maybe they come out and he gets 20 targets this week. I don't know. If he does, I want to have a little Zach Ertz, so I certainly like him. I always love Greg Ward. We always rep our Greg Ward was. He was in the AAF. I don't remember. Was he in Orlando Apollos? I don't think he was. I'm not sure. But he's an AAF guy. I'm an AAF guy. It's been a couple years. But yeah, Zach Ertz at 5,600. I'm kind of interested, especially coming off of last week. I guess he actually had 7 targets, which you wouldn't know based off of the season-long fantasy scores because he only caught 3 of them for 18 yards and a touchdown. But yeah, I love Zach Ertz. I just rambled a little bit. I'm not going to get my drink while you guys talk about this because I clear my head from this game.
yeah, man. I mean, I'm with you on that. I mean, I've liked Ertz here. I think there's going to be a lot of movement towards Goddard because he's cheap and he had such a huge game. But I think if you go back and look at Goddard's history, he has these weeks that spike every now and then, but it's never really consistent. Ertz is the man. Jalen Reagor made a little bit of a presence known. I think Deshaun Jackson still could have an opportunity that people probably got off of him because of his poor results. But I'm with Chris on that. Mark?
Yeah, excellent analysis. I'm right there with you. I think it's Zach Ertz this week. Yeah, he always tends to do this, and I'd say the only person I'm really off of is I don't know. Do we go back to Deshaun after such a disappointing week 1?
I mean, you can. I haven't looked at the pricing for him and looked what's there around him. talent's there. He can always break one. I mean, he's the kind of guy that could have a 3 catches for 110 yards and a touchdown. It's hard to not at least look at him.
Yeah, I think part of the problem is Washington sacked Wentz 6 times. They were always in his face. Yeah, so I'm kind of thinking Deshaun was underutilized just because Wentz was under so much pressure. Now that also means that Miles Sanders is a good choice this week. Where the Rams defensive line push around the Eagles offensive line like Washington did, I kind of think so.
I like it. I
guess the other thing to look at is like who's going to be on the other side of Deshaun Jackson. I mean, because if Jackson's going to be your primary wide receiver, you have to think that Ramsey's going to be the guy that's going to be covering him. And in that case, because Ramsey is a guy that can go all over the field. Will he? I don't know. I haven't looked at that yet. We'll probably have some analysis for it in my article. But Jackson to me is not a guy, if he's on the primary cover corner at this point in his career, that I want any part of. I probably like him a little bit more this week because he can burn anybody at any time. So in deep GPPs, I like him as a play. I like him as a play, especially if Jeffrey is back. But I don't think he's coming back, right? He's not back. He's not going to be back for a while. He's out this week. That was last week. I don't know. We'll see. So
I'm currently leaning towards Philly to cover this. So I'm kind of on that Miles and Ertz bandwidth there with you.
Yeah, slim 3-point margin. So in most lines, that was the starting. Most lines of this is now a push.
Yeah, I think it was Philly +1 at the time I was looking at it. But you're right.
Yeah, I'm looking at Bet Now has them as a push. Bovada's got them as a Philly +1. So it opened at Philly -3. So that shows you the pattern that the betting has taken. A 4-point swing to Philly being an underdog.
On the other side, I don't know. I'm not really interested in Malcolm Brown. I could just see this being completely flipped and Cam Akers getting more of the carries this week. Coaches like to do that kind of stuff. So I like Woods. Definitely like Woods on the other side. All right, moving on. Denver going into Pittsburgh. Gosh, both of these teams really disappointed me last week when I needed them to do some scoring.
Yeah.
But I could see this one having some points from Pittsburgh. They looked all right. I like Benny Snell if Connor's out again. He's just too cheap to ignore, and he's a hell of a running back. I think Snell could maintain some kind of play even if Connor comes back because of how well he did. So I'm kind of on Benny Snell. He's like 4,900 again. I mean, he's super cheap because the pricing came out before that game. So he's incredibly cheap. So he's probably going to be high owned, but save you some salary. Juju looks great. I could get right back on the Juju bandwagon here. And what about Noah Fant tearing it up, Chris?
Yeah. Hey, look, I didn't like Noah Fant last year. I didn't think he was the guy that you wanted to play, but I think this year, especially with Cortland Sutton, as long as he's out, that's going to be a situation where I want to look to Fant. But I mean, in this game, the guys that I'm a little bit more interested in are Melvin Gordon, super cheap. Philip Lindsay out. I like that. I mean, I do have some concerns that the Steelers defense looked fantastic. They just confirmed a touchdown for Odell, which he obviously wasn't in for. I'm not really sure what they were looking at there, but that's okay. It could have been 2 for Chubb. I don't know. I don't want – Gordon's the only play that I want in a GPP for this Denver team because I really think that they're going to get rolled here. It's playing the Steelers at home on the East Coast as opposed to the West. The guy that I'm really looking at the most is going to be Deontay Johnson, 4,500. To some extent, James Washington, but Deontay had 10 targets last week. Yeah, 10 targets, 6 receptions. He's 4,500. It's that kind of classic case of the pricing coming out before the Monday night games. And he looked like a fantastic target. Yeah, Juju looked good at 6,500, but he missed practice today. We're recording this on Thursday, obviously, because we're talking about the Thursday game. We're not the Simpsons. We can't see into the future, and we also are not going to talk about the past unless we're talking about the past week. And, 6 for 6 for 69 yards. Wow. 6 for 6 for 69 yards. Interesting. I like it.
Yeah,
but I like Deontay. Deontay's the guy. A lot of hype around him. He's a lot of sharp people are going to be on him. I think in these big tournaments where you're playing, the low dollar entries, where you're playing 1 or 2. I mean, I really like if you want to get a little frisky, going Deontay's way.
Mm-hmm. Couldn't agree more, Mark.
Yeah, I really don't have anything to add. You guys covered it perfectly.
Hey, the two guys that I do want to kind of pinpoint, and I was on them last week, so it was kind of upsetting that this game didn't kind of go the way that I hoped it would in terms of the Denver, Tennessee. Tim Patrick is a fine guy that if you really need some savings, him and Deshaun Hamilton are both guys that you probably should redo your lineup if you're looking at these guys, but they do get some targets if you're playing like a showdown or something with this game. I think those are two guys that you can look at as Tim Patrick, Deshaun Hamilton. Tim Patrick especially, just in case you're doing a showdown.
Absolutely. Yeah, I like Pittsburgh to smash there, man. Moving on, Buffalo heading down to Miami. Buffalo put up a hell of a point score for the people who rostered them in DFS week 1. Will they repeat it on the road in Miami? Mark, what do you think?
No, they don't play as well on the road. While Miami's defense isn't great, it's improved. And I really don't have faith in Buffalo being consistent through the year.
Christopher.
Yeah, no, I'm all in on Buffalo here. I love it. I love Stephon Diggs after he burned people last week. Josh Allen's obviously a huge target. I think Zach Moss is this really interesting guy to look at 4,800. Not so much interested in Jordan Howard, Matt Breida, Devin Singletary. Myles Gaskin was a huge kind of waiver wire guy that I think went underlooked. When we look at this workload that he had, he almost looks like he's the front runner for this position. 39 to 58 stats, 9 carries for 40 yards. Nothing great, but 4 catches on 4 receptions. I think Myles Gaskin's another one of those really inexpensive running backs that we didn't have last week. We were stuck with Robinson, we were stuck with Gibson, and Boston Scott. See, trying to forget that. Those are the guys that we're stuck with, but we've got 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 guys under 6,000, and he's one of them that I really like. Now, the concern that I have with this offense is certainly Devontae Parker. Is he going to play? Does that mean we slot in Preston Williams? I don't think that we do. I'm really, really high on Stephon Diggs here as a GPP play. I'm not interested in any part of this game in cash. So, while I disagree with you, Mark, I don't emphatically disagree. I certainly see this game going poorly for both of us, or for me, if I play these guys pretty equally, or for you if you don't play them pretty equally. Let's put it that
way. Who put up that Buffalo will smash graphic?
That's me. I have control of the graphics.
That's hilarious. I like that. I'm kind of a mixed bag on this one, kind of halfway in between there. I really like the Josh Allen. If he fits in some nice lineups that I was building just to look at pricing earlier, I like him a lot. I'm not sold on Gaskins yet, man. I'm just not, but I'll keep watching him. I put a little asterisk next to him. Put his name down in my book. I'll keep an eye on it.
Now, what do you think of the other side? Is this a game stack with Fitzmagic?
No, it's not. It's not a game stack. There's no way this is a game stack. Don't do it.
Fair enough. Yeah, no.
If you're running 20 or 30 lineups, yes, you need the game stack.
No. Assume just a few lineups.
Well, I didn't know, Mark. I think it was you. What was it? Today's the 17th. We're talking Probably about 3 weeks ago, you said, I wish I had your bankroll. Now you kind of do. Well, my bankroll's changed, but you have my bankroll from the time that you said that.
Yeah. 20 lineups, Mark. I want to see it.
Yeah.
Do it. You can do it. All right, moving on here. Yeah, I like Buffalo too much in this game. Their defense looked good, so I just don't know if I could game stack this because I could see Buffalo putting up 27 and Miami putting up 10.
It's a divisional matchup. It's in Miami. The guys aren't right. There's a lot of things going against this. I'm not interested in the game stack.
Mm-hmm. Now, the one that I was most interested to start my game stacks off the beaten path is the next game up with the New York Giants heading to Chicago. Something about this game is attractive to me. I like the idea of Allen Robinson and Miller in this game. I like the idea of Saquon on the other side. I like that Slayton has just been crazy good. I just like this game. I think it's going to be a decent scoring game. I'd pick the over on it as my first look. Now, I just started looking at football today about 2 o'clock. So just my first gut instinct. I wrote it down as kind of a sneaky game stack. What do you think of that, Chris?
Okay. I think somebody just scored a touchdown with that CJ Uzma. Okay. All right. Uzma just got a touchdown. He's wide open. That was pretty sick. Look, hey, the guy that I love the most in this, and this is a crazy hot take, but there's a guy, his name's Saquon Barkley. And I think a lot of people forgot who this dude is. And, one of the things that's going to drive the ownership down, again, was all those cheap running backs, but also the fact that he just really laid a dud last week, but it wasn't because of a lack of opportunity. So we kind of have to gauge the context of who he played. He played the Steelers. The Steelers were billed as this great great defense coming in. And so can we really fault him for that? This guy still had 16 carries. Yes, I know, 6 yards. And he had a 7-yard run. So, figure that all out. But he had 9 targets. In terms of running backs split out wide, I think in the slot he was number 1. If I'm not mistaken, I'll have to go back and check that stat. But this guy's going to have some big games this year if he stays healthy. And I am not at all intimidated by this Bears defense. I think Barkley is a guy that you can go to. I certainly think, as you said, Darius Slayton is a guy that you can go to. And then the other guy that I really love in this game, even though he burned me last week and he burned a lot of people, but his air yards are fantastic, is Allen Robinson. This guy needs to get out of there, man. There's some rumors about him going maybe to play with Cam in New England or somewhere that they have a competent QB. Can you imagine being Allen Robinson? You played with, and correct me if I'm wrong, who was his quarterback in college? Was it Christian Hackenberg? I don't know. I know he played at Penn State. But, man, he's had Blake Bortles and Mitch Trubisky. I'm sorry. Sucks, dude.
Yeah, I really like him. His matchup this week is looking good. I don't think Bradbury can stay with him, man. So I like Allen Robinson a lot. I like Barkley on the other side. I like the game stack here. I'm not going to lie. I think it's going to be my favorite one to start my sneaky picks with. Mark,
I think if you do that, though, who's your QB? Are you going game stack with the Bears winning? Are you gonna? I mean, it's in Chicago, right?
Yeah, it's in Chicago.
Yeah.
That makes it a little more challenging. If this is in New York, I think the game stack's a little bit better. But I'll let Mark kind of dig into that and tell us why Cordell Patterson's the best play in this game.
No. I actually really like the Giants in this game, even though it's in Chicago. Chicago's the line's currently 5.5, depending on where you look. I kind of think the Giants win this game. I like Saquon. I like Slayton. I like Daniel Jones. I like the game stack. I think I'll stack with Giants and run back with Allen Robinson.
Yeah, that was my first thought. I would agree with you, Mark. Any final thoughts? All right, moving on. Next game here, another game I kind of like the look of. Minnesota heading down to Indianapolis. Chris, give us a start.
Give me a minute here. Let's pull this in. First off, I really like Paris Campbell in this game.
I know you do, man. He's your boy.
I think there's a lot of questions between Jonathan Taylor and Naheem Hines. Like, are they going to use Naheem? Like, why wouldn't they, though, use him the same way that they used him last week? Not a big T.Y. Hilton guy at this point in his career. Paris Campbell looked great last year. Looked like last week. Jeez. Hang on. We're having some issues today. Paris Campbell looked fantastic last week. He looked like he had some type of synergy with Rivers. He had quite a few targets. And he had a good stat line. And his price still doesn't necessarily reflect that. On the Minnesota side of things, how can you not go Dalvin Cook? How can you not go Adam Thielen? And those are kind of the only three guys that I'm interested in. The other kind of way to go here is maybe Minnesota, hoping they get an interception from Phillip Rivers, who seems to just continue to throw those things. That's his game. That's his MO. But, man, this Minnesota secondary looked terrible last week, and it wasn't against like some world beaters. I mean, MVS, Alan Lazard, they're not the guys that, Devontae Adams, okay. But the other two guys, they're good, but they're not great. So, I don't know. Stop calling me first, okay? I'm a counter puncher.
That's why every now and then I got to call on you first, man. I only did 2 games in a row first. You're fine.
Every game, this whole
not true at all.
This last hour,
not even true.
Every single game.
Go back and watch.
Yeah, so I hate this game. I don't want anything to do with it. Maybe it's just my personal feelings, but both Minnesota and Indianapolis let me down last week. Their defense, neither defense looks very good. And man, Chris, you were right. I was hoping Phillip Rivers could actually throw the ball downfield this year after some time off and a new team. He can't.
That first drive, you probably were like, "Oh God, I'm right. I got this."
It was horrible. I'm like, after that first drive, I'm like, Ty is not doing anything this year. It's not going to happen. Right now on Thursday night, my feeling is I'm going to avoid this game in DFS. I might have a sprinkling somewhere if I decide to bankroll 20 lineups, but not any of my main lineups. I'm not touching it.
This is a game that I could play Paris, Cook, and Thielen without any issues, and just not play either quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
I like this game. I think it's. I think Minnesota's defense is not good, and I think that there is a chance that this is going to go over the over-under on this. I like it. I'm going to find some ways to play it.
What is the over-under on this?
It's fairly high. I think it's the 5th highest one. At least it was when I was looking. Get back to where I was going. I got too many things open. 48.
Yeah, that is pretty high.
I like it.
I might have to make a game stack then.
It's not as high as I was last night.
Hey-o.
Well,
all right. Well, a game I know you're going to game stack, my man. The Detroit Lions heading up to Green Bay to play. This is a 50-point over-under?
46. Oh, no. I guess it's up to 49 and a half.
Yeah.
I have no idea. I'd take the under.
I like this all over again for Rodgers and Adams. I think that they're another absolute lock play. Probably could even play Lazard again. I don't think his price even went up a notch. I think it's exactly the same as it was. I might have gone up $100. MVS maybe, but I still like Lazard more.
Honestly,
I like this game.
My game stack is going to be Rodgers, Lazard, Adams, and Jones.
And Jones. Forget the Lions.
Yep, forget the Lions.
Not Jones Jr. You're talking Aaron Jones.
Yep.
Yeah. I do like Marvin though. Again, I mean Green Bay's slot and Marvin Jr.
Oh, I thought
you were Jones Jr. I mean Green Bay was just giving up points across the middle to Minnesota, so I do like Marvin in a bounce back here. He kind of let us down last week. Chris.
again, like it's one of those things that like when we get into week 2, one of the things that we can do to profit the best is get away from overreactions to week 1. And the absolute love that we had for Devontae is going to carry over to the public sentiment, and this game is going to be overowned. And I mean, it's tough. So here's the thought. Like, if you want Devontae, you want Lazard, you want MVS, you want all these guys, and you want them in your lineup, you think that Aaron Rodgers is going to have another one of these games, go back and look at Aaron Rodgers' last couple of years. Doesn't have a lot of these games. You almost need Detroit to come out and have a great game. And are they? Are they going to have the type of offense that is going to, predicate the Green Bay offense the way that they were last year? And I just don't think that that's going to happen. I like Devontae Adams. I think he's still viable in cash. I don't like this as a game stack. I won't have it as a game stack. If I do 30 lineups, which I probably will, I will have a game stack. So full disclosure, I will game stack this, but I don't like it. I don't feel good about it. Those are usually the best, but I don't think it's just not there. This is an overreaction spot. We haven't really gotten to an overreaction.
Chris.
The only other overreaction spot is that first game, the Falcons and the Cowboys, and like some of these overreactions are not overreactions, but I think this is an overreaction. I think it is.
I just like betting against the Lions.
With GPP this week, I don't think it's going to happen.
Anytime I can, I bet against the Lions. It's my favorite thing to do.
All right, what's the overreaction? That Green Bay's that good or the Lions are that bad?
I don't think the Lions are that bad. I just don't think that their offense is going to run there. Like, it's not Matt Patricia's fault that, like, the team has blown 33 out of 36 fourth quarter leads, right? Like, it can't be.
Yes, it is. Fault. He's a defensive coach.
No, he said it. And God damn it, Mark, let's just not remember he has one of the best play calls ever. Like, let's go back and let's just remember that. Like, so we can't question this, gentlemen. He's amazing. And let's be honest. If we hadn't, as an organization, drafted a fucking running back again, then Swift wouldn't have been on the field. Kerryon Johnson probably would be running that out. Kerryon Johnson would have turned. He would have seen the ball. He would have put his hands around it, and they would have won. Tell me I'm wrong.
All right.
I remember very vividly in my 7th grade Davis Raiders football years. I was a tight end. I had one route that I'd run, and it was an up and out. That's all I did. Well, I blocked sometimes too, really shittily, because I didn't know that you could hold. Like, they didn't teach us how to cheat. And I'd run, and I remember in the 6th game, there were 6 games in the season, they finally called a pass play, 7th grade. This is all running. And I went out, and I went there, and I turned, and I caught it. I did it. I would have been there. I would have been in the end zone. That's all I'm saying.
I like it. All right, moving along. Jacksonville heading down Tennessee. Gardner Minshew, our all-time favorite quarterback, going up against Tennessee. Looking at the quarterback matchups, both A.J. Brown and DJ Shark have fantastic matchups. Is there a chance this game goes over? Go ahead, Mark.
Is there a chance this game goes over? What do we got? 43.5?
Mm-hmm.
There is a chance. I don't know. I think it's going to be very close to 43.5. I mean, Tennessee's defense still looks solid, but they just couldn't get their running game going, and got bottled up a little bit, and they showed you what happens when you have Tannehill throw the ball 45 times in a game. So, and you have a terrible kicker.
I mean, Henry had 116 yards. It did take him 30 carries to get there. He couldn't punch one in. But
they were up against an excellent defense. So, Yeah, I don't know. It'll be close. I don't think I'd bet the over. I do like DJ Shark in this, and I do like
Brown.
Tennessee's receivers. Sorry.
Chenault.
No.
Yeah. No, I do like this game to possibly go over. I am taking Jacksonville at +8, though. I think it's going to be closer. I don't think Tennessee's going to blow them out. So, Chris, what do you think?
Yeah, I think Chenault's role is something that you can look at. This guy ran around at 64% of dropbacks. I think Chark was the clear number one. The other guy you can look at here is Keenan Cole. Like, that was a big surprise. He was in there. Let's see. 80% of dropbacks. He ran her out. Like, oh man, where was this 2 years ago on my best ball team? Beyond that, Nyheim Hines just ate this Jaguars run defense up. What is Derrick Henry going to do? Beyond that, we saw Ryan Tannehill just dropping dimes left and right. They don't have a lot of guys that can catch him, but he looked really good. I think you can go at this game a couple different ways. I think Ryan Tannehill has really, turned that corner from really bad quarterback to a little bit above average quarterback, enough for us to roster in some type of fantasy situations. And let's monitor A.J. Brown. Let's see what his health looks like. If he doesn't play, look, Corey Davis, let's do it. What's Corey Davis's? Whoa, hang on.
That's Corey Davis is who I was trying to think of.
Corey Davis, $4,000. Man, we had no value in week one. And usually we have tons of value in week one. But week 2 is the new week 1. 40 is the new 30, 50 is the new 40, all that garbage. Week 2 is the new week 1. Corey Davis at 4,000. How many targets do you think he had? It was 8. It was 8 targets.
Yeah, I was gonna say 8.
I know you.
He looked really good.
Yeah, Corey Davis is a monumental talent. Like this guy is
Western Michigan.
You know who the other guy who had a bunch of targets was? And I'm going to tell you how many targets he had. He had 7. This is a Johnny Danger. This is terrible slot wide receiver. Nobody else would roster.
Adam Humphries?
That's the guy, dude. 7 targets, 6 receptions, 46 yards. That's
a tipsy pick extraordinaire.
Yeah, man. These are a couple guys that you could put into that game stack and try and fit guys like Saquon Barkley and a couple other guys that we'll talk about. But yeah, certainly, I think this game has some potential. Jags only ran 20 passing plays, but.
So
Chris,
do you think
this was my second game? It was Chicago and the Giants, and it was this game as my 2 favorite under-owned stacks.
So do you think, given the way Hines ran over Jacksonville, that Tennessee gets back to running the majority of the plays and those targets to Corey Davis come down because they're going to be able to run with Henry?
Well, I think you go one way or the other. I think you take a stand on that. If you're going to game stack this, or even if you're not, you're just going to decide, hey, how is this game going to go? How do I feel? And then that's what you're going to do. Is either you're going to roll with Derrick Henry, or you're going to roll with Adam Humphries, Corey Davis, and Ryan Tannehill. Who's your crew?
Gotcha.
I dig it. All right. Let us continue, my friends. Let's see. We've got 2 more 1 o'clock games, and then we'll take a quick break. We have got Carolina heading down to Tampa Bay. Man, Brady was just getting shoved all over the place by that New Orleans defense. That line's got to improve, or it doesn't matter who the quarterback is. It looks like Godwin may be dinged up enough to maybe even miss the game. Chris, what do you think about this game?
Well, if Godwin misses the game, then I think Scotty Miller becomes super viable, and I know you love to hear that. That's a guy,
buddy,
freeze type of guy for you. As much as I touted Carolina last week, I really, was disgusted by the way that they called their offensive game. McCaffrey just wasn't involved, and that was something that I think enough people considered going into it. A change of leadership in terms of play calling, head coach. How is that going to affect Christian McCaffrey? And it obviously affected him a little bit. Like, the guy still scored 24, 28, something similar to that.
Yeah, he got 2 touchdowns. That always helps.
Yeah, 28 on a 30,000 salary. That's not. But he just didn't have the passing game involvement that we've come to know for Christian McCaffrey, and rightfully so. That was a heavy workload that he carried last week. I really did like what I saw from Teddy Bridgewater. I liked the synergy he had with Robbie Anderson. DJ Moore didn't have the game that I thought he could have, but I'm not discouraged. I'm not off of him, and I can't be because he's on every one of my season-long teams, so I have to stay positive. But yeah, I still like this team. Everything that I said about Bridgewater and the offense, I think they stretched the ball when they could. He certainly does not try and take unnecessary chances, but this Tampa Bay defense, they weren't anything that I was super impressed by. So, yeah, this is an interesting game. It's another divisional game, but these are very 2 different teams within this division than they were a year previous.
Certainly are. Ronald Jones, any kind of an uptick here because of the porous Carolina defense?
Yeah, I think so. Why not?
Yeah. I like Jones. If Godwin's out, I'm all over Scotty Miller. I mean, he got, I think, 7 targets, even with Evans and Godwin in. You take Godwin out, and that side of the field looks pretty open for him. So I dig that. On the other side, McCaffrey, I mean, it was kind of the same thing with Eckler. The 2 best, most prolific pass-catching running backs in the game, McCaffrey and Eckler. I mean, Eckler, I think, had 2 targets. Strange to me. Mark, what do you think of this game?
Yeah, no, I agree with you guys. I like Ronald Jones a lot in this game. I'm expecting Godwin to be out. He went into concussion protocol yesterday, so most likely he's not playing this week.
Sounds true. His name's Godwin. He's going to come out of this. He'll be there. He'll be there.
He'll be fine. He'll be fine.
Yeah. What'd you guys think of Tom Brady's arm against New Orleans?
I saw that nice pass to Evans in the corner. Other than that, I didn't watch a ton of the game. It's the first time I've ever watched Red Zone. Can you believe that? It was overwhelming.
I love
overwhelming for me.
Yeah, it actually felt to me like Brady has picked Evans to be his number 1 target. I don't know. He just was looking for him the whole game. It seemed like the rest of the receivers were secondary targets that he had to go to because Evans was hurt, and they were covering him pretty easy. But he was trying to force it into Evans, I thought. This might be a good place to play Evans again.
Yeah, I mean, it could be. It's just a matter of protecting Brady. I mean, New Orleans was just shoving him around. It just was ugly for him.
Yeah.
It's not going to do well on a 41-year-old body. It's just not going to work.
He's not used to that.
No. I wasn't disappointed in Teddy's game. I mean, I thought Teddy did all right. I think the play calling was not good. I think the play calling is what got him. I think Teddy looked fine. Robbie Anderson, as we all said, that he would be the guy, was definitely the dude for us. I liked him. I had him in a lot of places. He's the only reason why I made my money back was Robbie Anderson, Washington's defense.
Where you didn't have him was in
DFS
seasonal league, where you had.
I don't want to talk about that.
Did you feel the roster?
I should have not fielded the roster. What I should have done is not fielded the roster and then told everybody the lowest score gets dumped at the end of the year.
You should, it would have been a better excuse if you were just like, oh man, I forgot to put a roster in. My bad. Yeah. Instead of oh, my best roster would have done so much better here.
Yeah, it would have. Yeah, that was my main lineup the whole time, and then the morning I was switching everything around, and I ended up with 24 lineups, and I really screwed the pooch on that one.
If I couldn't finish in first, the best thing I could do was finish in second ahead of Adam. So
right, again, and Adam was creeping on you that whole time.
Hey, let's call it. A&W is not a good name. Let's call him Bubble Boy.
Right?
I think that's
Bubble
a good
boy.
name for Adam.
Dude, you only got him by 6.2 or 0.62 points. He was creeping up that whole game. It was hilarious. It was bad. No, that was bad, man. That the team I ended up in that one was the one where I had Thomas and Brady and Godwin, and that just did not work. Certainly did not work. But anyways, moving on. One last game for the 1 o'clock, and then I'm going to have to get up and take a break. So let's get into San Francisco, heading to the Jets. I'd really like this a lot better if it was in San Francisco. I noticed the Niners signed Sano, so they have a new wide receiver over there. Speaking about a team that could use a wide receiver, man, Allen Robinson could take him over there. Love that. That'd be a great spot. For me, not for Allen. The biggest story, of course, is going to be the revenge game narrative with Frank Gore going to tear the San Francisco defense right up. Mark?
Old man Gore, huh?
Old man Gore. Bell's out for 3 games, so Gore is the lead back.
I still can't do it. Nope. I see the hype. I want to puke. I don't want anything to do with it.
I'm going to pass on this game completely. I don't like the Niners traveling to the East Coast. They always suck on the East Coast. A complete pass on this for me.
Yeah, it just feels like an ugly game to me. Just ugly. So Chris, what's your disagreement?
Well, I mean, Jamison Crowder, guys.
Yeah. I mean, I like Mostert and I like Crowder as individual pieces, but I'm really not interested in even watching this game as a 49er fan.
Guys, Crowder had 13 targets. Let's not convolute the whole touchdown that he had and broke out for it. That was huge.
It was awesome. You were on I believe you were on the shitter when that happened.
I was.
I was like, oh, Crowder touchdown. You're like, great, I'm on the shitter.
It was the best news I'd heard in several minutes. But 13 targets. This guy has obviously some type of synergy with Sam Darnold. They don't have anybody else there. I've used synergy way too many times during this live stream here, and this isn't misplaced though. When he was in the lineup with Darnold last year, he was a viable fantasy option, and I think that's going to continue this year with the elimination of Le'Veon Bell, the elimination of Robbie Anderson from this offense in terms of last year. Absolutely. Did Kareem Hunt just score a touchdown? He did. Hey, I don't know. If you guys are on Fantasy Football Blueprint, I might have in my article, I very well may have said a really weird GPP option was going with Hunt and Chubb. I think I said that.
You did say that. Yeah,
I like it.
I did.
You said that, and I have 3 lineups. And before I even read that, I had both those guys in there because I knew you were going there. I wanted to steal that. I wanted to steal that from you.
Yeah. No, I mean, I love it. I don't think I stacked it with OBJ and Mayfield, but I have one of those.
No, I have both those touchdowns, and my best team is only in the 50th percentile. It's not good.
I mean, I
have too much Tyler Boyd.
Actually, I have a lineup with Mayfield, Uzuma, Hunt, and Beckham.
Nice. Go get it, Mark. Who's your last guy?
Boyd and Landry.
Ew. Don't like Landry. I like Boyd, though. Boyd's going to score. Don't worry. Boyd's going to score.
Oh, man. Well, Mark, can you start sending me some lineups for these shows? I'll send you some regular lineups.
Yeah, that'd be great. All right, guys, we're going to take a quick break. I got to hit the head and find another beverage. We are Draft for Upside. You can find us on Facebook at Draft for Upside that you're watching now, hopefully, or if you're watching this later, please check us out there. DraftForUpside.com is still functional, and you can find most of our content and premium content over at FantasyFootballBlueprint.com. We'll be back in 5.